The young woman climbed desperately upward, not daring to stop for even a moment. Behind her was a vicious and cruel attacker. If caught, she would quickly be killed. The man pursued her without any safety equipment, relentlessly giving chase. As he was about to catch up to her, she kicked backward toward his face. Though painful, the blow didn't deter him at all. Instead, it strengthened his resolve to catch and teach her a lesson. He managed to grab her backpack, causing a camera to fall out. Sensing something was wrong, she kicked at him again, but failed to knock him off the cliff. Still undeterred, the attacker continued his pursuit. She quickly scooped up the camera and stuffed it back into her backpack. This was no ordinary camera. It contained footage of the attacker murdering her best friend. His desperate attempt to catch her was motivated by avoiding prison. The woman climbed higher and higher, while her pursuer below climbed just as quickly. Seeing his relentless pursuit, she delivered another powerful kick, sending him plummeting down the cliff. However, the force of the kick caused her own leg to suffer a compound fracture. The attacker's accomplices at the bottom shouted threats, trying to convince her to give up her struggle. Ignoring them, she continued scaling the rock face. Eventually, she found a crevice in the cliff where she could rest. After providing basic first aid to their injured companion, the accomplices equipped themselves with proper climbing gear and returned to the cliff. Seeing how quickly she was climbing, they decided to abandon the direct pursuit and instead take a shortcut to the summit to intercept her. Meanwhile, the woman climbing the cliff face soon encountered another problem. She reached a section with no handholds, and her fingers were beginning to go numb. Fortunately, there was a rope left by another climber to her right. She could only continue if she grabbed this rope, but it was just out of reach. She remembered the wire in her backpack, slowly took it out and bent it into a hook, attempting to pull the rope toward her. But even if she caught the rope, she would need to grab the rock face ahead of her. Otherwise, she would plummet down the deadly cliff. Seeing no other way forward, she recalled a technique her boyfriend had taught her. Taking a deep breath, she leaped with all her strength and succeeded. She spotted a sleeping bag left behind by another climber ahead and used her remaining strength to climb toward it. She had hoped to rest properly in the sleeping bag, but the attackers had already positioned themselves on the rocks directly above her. Knowing she was below them, they lowered a rope and demanded she hand over the camera if she wanted to live. When they pulled the rope back up, however, they found only a note filled with obscenities about their families. The leader gnashed his teeth in rage. Soon night began to fall, and the woman started shivering from the cold. She quickly stood up to examine the sleeping bag left by the other climber. Fortunately, it was still usable. She opened it and quickly crawled inside, thinking she could get some comfortable sleep. The man packed his backpack and threw it down the mountain, hitting the sleeping bag where the woman was resting below. Startled, she immediately sensed something was wrong. She quickly unzipped the sleeping bag and mustered all her strength to grab the pack. When the attackers above saw she had caught the rope, they mercilessly cut it. Fortunately, the woman managed to grab a nearby rock, using every ounce of strength to climb onto it before retreating back into the sleeping bag. In the dead of night, the attackers launched another assault. While she was sleeping, one of them grabbed her by the hair, demanding she hand over the camera. She deceived him, saying the camera was in her backpack. As he searched through it, she kicked him toward the cliff edge. The rope attached to his body prevented him from falling. She lunged forward, but missed. Luckily, she managed to grab his belt. His accomplices frantically pulled on the rope, hauling them both up. Once secure, the attacker seized her hair again, intent on killing her. At this critical moment, she cut off her own hair and grabbed the sleeping bag, narrowly escaping with her life. Above, the attackers began blaming and fighting each other. Within a minute, only the strongest of them, Manov, remained. Manov slid down to the rocks below, preparing for a life-or-death struggle with the woman. What he didn't know was that she now had a knife. After just 2 exchanges, she cut the rope attached to him, leaving him stranded on a small ledge. Despite his desperate pleas for mercy, she showed no compassion. After all, just yesterday, these men had thrown her best friend off the cliff. Summoning all her strength, she kicked the villainous Manov off the cliff with one powerful thrust. The cliff crisis finally ended. Without attackers pursuing her, the woman easily climbed to the summit and successfully survived.